Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. The Premier League fixtures have just been released. It's Holly. I'm here to chat about these fixtures and what these are going to look like for West Ham, as well as what we can expect based on these fixtures and what our hopes are, because we've got a big summer ahead, haven't we, to build up to these fixtures that are now released. So let's get started. Yes, West Ham Network. So I thought I'd jump on and do a cheeky live because I don't do enough of these. We can have a quick natter about our fixtures for the 25-26 season, which sounds crazy that is the season that we're about to start, and what these actually mean for us. So we're going to wait a little bit for everyone to join, but let us know how you're feeling down in the comments because I want to get that chat going. I want everyone to let me know what their thoughts are on the fixtures so far. And yeah, how are we all feeling? Because it's always quite a big deal, but there's always mixed opinions over whether or not it matters who we play first or whether it doesn't make a difference. So for anyone that's just tuning in, these are West Ham's fixtures for the next Premier League season. We have got Sunderland away, Chelsea at home, Nottingham Forest away, Spurs at home, and then Crystal Palace at home before Everton away. I always feel, well, we're going to chat about this in a lot more detail, but I feel like there are two pivotal parts of the season in terms of fixtures, the start of the season and the end of the season, because both of them, they do have a little bit of a knock-on impact, as much as we can all say that we have to play everyone anyway. I feel like they can make a difference because as much as we say that footballers are professionals, I think everyone has the ability to get in their own head, and fixtures can sometimes play a little bit of a part in it. So it's very mixed opinions. So let me know in the comments whether you feel like fixtures actually matter at all at the start of the season or the end of the season or both, or whether you just feel like it doesn't matter. We've just got to get on with it. Let us know what you're thinking down in the comments. Get those comments pinging off. Let's get that discussion going. Personally, like I said, I feel like they will have a massive impact on our season because if we can start strong, obviously it's going to make a massive difference. And naturally, if we were playing the typical top six sides, or the hardest six sides in our opening six fixtures, it would feel very different if we were getting back-to-back wins in the first 6 games of the season. So while mathematically, obviously we do have to play everybody at some point, I can't help but feel like a nice run of fixtures can set you off on the right foot. So for anyone that's just tuning in, here they are. This is what we have to expect from next season. So Sunderland away, Chelsea at home, Forest away, Spurs at home, and Crystal Palace at home. So we've obviously got some of the more challenging games there in that first 5 opening fixtures. They're at home. So again, everyone feeling positive and an intimidating atmosphere, as intimidating as we can make it at the London Stadium, would also potentially be helpful. So we're going to have a little look. Now we know what our fixtures are for the start of the season. Let's take a little look at the fixtures that we've had in recent seasons. So the 2021-22 season, it started Newcastle away, Leicester at home, Palace at home, Southampton away, Man United at home. 22-23 started Man City at home, Forest away, Brighton at home, Villa away, and Spurs at home. 23-24 started Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Brighton away, Luton away, and then Man City at home. And obviously last season, it started Villa at home, Palace away, City at home, Fulham away, and Chelsea at home. So we've had quite a lot of horrible fixtures, shall we say, in our opening games. We've also had a few ends to the season where we've had difficult teams to play against. 21-22, we had Chelsea, Arsenal and City in our last 5 games. Season after that, we had Man U, Brentford, so not too difficult. 23-24, we had Liverpool, Chelsea, City in there. And then last season, we had Spurs, Man United, and Forest, who were performing well at the time, obviously. Well, kind of. So we haven't had a great run of fixtures in terms of any of the ones that we've actually been given in recent seasons. But now we're looking at this and we have got mainly games that we should be competing in the first 5 games of the season, and taking a little peek to the end of that season. Arsenal, Newcastle, Brentford, potentially challenging ones. But I feel like we can do this. So how are we feeling? How are we feeling about these fixtures? Let us know down in the comments. Let's take a little look at what everyone is saying. Yes, usual suspects. Sunderland away, first game of the season. It is indeed. It's going to be an interesting one. You could almost write it, couldn't you? That we're going to struggle to a side that has just been promoted. But it's all part of the fun. It is all part of the fun, isn't it? We have got new member, Leslie. Welcome, welcome. It is a pleasure to have you on board. Looking forward to making some fun content for you. A good start is critical. Now, this is my exact point. As much as we have to play everyone, I would like us to get some wins under our belt so we're feeling good about things, because if we are, then you've got that momentum and you can build from there. The fans are happy, the atmosphere is better, the players feel confident, and we actually try and do fun things on that pitch, which we're capable of, and we've seen that is what works best for us. However, if we start losing games, there's pressure on everyone: players, Potter, negativity, criticism, a quiet stadium. All these things, as much as I wish that they wouldn't impact our season, they will start us off. It's an uphill battle. So let me know your thoughts. Like I said, get in that comment section. How are we feeling about these fixtures? Are we happy? Are we sad? Are we frustrated? What are we saying, people? What are we saying? Tough August. Now, it's very true. It's very true. It is a tough August. So good start this critical. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. But personally, in a dream world, I would have chosen easier fixtures for the first few games to get some confidence and momentum going. And just like I said, have fans excited, get that momentum going at the stadium. And then I'd want a few more challenging games before teams get into the swing of things. And ideally with us feeling very good and positive about what we can do. And the other reason that I would choose for us to hopefully have an easier start to the season in terms of the teams we're playing is that it could really turn into a horror show. Imagine if we had all easy fixtures first half of the season, everything's looking good, Potter's looking like he's got hold of everything, and we enter that second half of the season and we keep things as they are, obviously, in terms of head coach, the players that we've got, and we don't really strengthen in January because it's not needed. And then they drop off like we did last season where we really struggled. And then the more difficult fixtures appear. That would be awful, because if we were in a good enough position like we were luckily last season, where we were in a position where we could lose a lot of games, and while we did travel down the table, we weren't in risk of relegation. If we're mid-table and that starts happening and we don't have teams like we did last season that were almost certainly relegated and they really weren't going to pick themselves out of that situation, we could end up in a horrible situation. So I think it's really important that we actually just get points on that board really early, like we always say. But for anyone that's just tuning in, Sunderland away, first game of the season. And this season, it feels like we've got a pretty decent starting point to build from. Like people have said, it's a challenging August. We've got Sunderland, Chelsea, Forest. Then we've got Spurs at the beginning of September. However, it could be worse. There's no Liverpools, there's no Man Cities in there, which I'm personally pretty happy about. And ultimately, like some people say, we do have to play everyone in whatever order. And realistically, we should have the mindsets to hit the ground running regardless, shouldn't we? But if we're unbeaten 8 games in, it's going to feel very different to if we've got 8 losses, isn't it? So I'm hoping that we can just go out and absolutely smash this season. If you haven't already, let us know in the comments section. How are you feeling about the fixtures? Do you think fixtures matter or not? And how much do you think they matter? And why? Why do you think that the fixtures matter? So let us know your thoughts down below. We're going to go back to the comments section. It's important that we give Potter 10 to 12 games, says GP. I think exactly the same, to be honest. I feel like he needs some momentum. I feel like he needs some time after this transfer window to see what we can obviously bring in, but then go and do something with that. And you've got to give managers time. We've seen clubs that have zero patience and it never pays off for them, because you do have to give someone time. Sometimes that pays off and sometimes that ends up being a horrific waste of time. But I feel like with Potter, he needs to work with the players and we've got to see what he can do. So if we're saying 10 to 12 games, that brings us to basically the end of November, doesn't it? So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Let me just lift that comment out of the way so you can see what's going on. So that would give basically 10 to 12 games would give Potter that left-hand column there. So ending with a game against Liverpool. In there would obviously be some tricky fixtures, but you've got to face them somewhere. But I also think that 10 to 12 games is a good start in terms of putting him to the test and seeing where we stand realistically. Could be interesting start with the London derbies for the first 4 home games. it will be an interesting one. But again, these are the things I really hope are just going to get that atmosphere going and make us feel scary to anyone that dares to enter Stratford. Paul doesn't think it's too bad. Newly promoted side away. First game will be tough as they'll be well up for it. Although one at home last game balances that out. Very true. Very true. It's always nice to have an technically easier fixture last game of the season. I'm going to actually be having a little chat about it later, but I feel like the end of the season is also pivotal because whether you're mid-table and want to climb a few positions, if other teams are switching off, it's your chance to capitalise. But in the same way, that obviously relies on us not switching off whatsoever. If you haven't already, let us know your thoughts on the fixtures. How do you feel about fixtures? Do they matter? Or is this just a random piece of information that you don't care about? Either way is fine. Sounds like Claret and Blue want Potter out by half-time of the first game. He does need 10 to 12 games. I think this is what's really interesting about football. It's just that everyone's got very different opinions. I'm definitely one of the more patient ones that wants to give people time. And then a point will come where I'll go, no, that's it. They're dead. They've crossed the line and we've got to go and find someone else. Whereas other fans, football is a reactive game, isn't it? It gets our emotions going. And with that, it does get us all going, no, half-time of this game, I'm absolutely done. We've got to get rid of them. So I personally, while I'm a more patient fan, and obviously I've got a lot of stick for it over the years, I love that at West Ham we've got so many different opinions and that a lot of people can actually have a really lovely debate with difference of opinion and not just state each other as well. So I agree personally that I think Potter does need 10 to 12 games because obviously the second half of last season wasn't what I would call acceptable in terms of what a head coach is doing. But we're talking about a head coach that inherited a team that everyone was saying get rid of basically 80% of those players. So you can't really base his performance off a team where only 20% of the players are players that we think are worthy to play for West Ham. Obviously, it depends on us backing him this window and actually bringing in new players and seeing what we can do with those players. But I think 10 to 12 games in, we're now going to have a clue of whether or not we're heading in the right direction or not. There are some of the ugly bits of work that I think Potter's done. He has tightened up our defence. We're not conceding as many goals. We look a little bit more organised. But when you look at wins and actual results, which ultimately are what matter, they're not quite coming yet. So that's what I'm hoping to basically work out whether it is or isn't coming in the first 10-ish games of next season. But I think when we start getting 8 games in, if things aren't looking good, the pressure's going to rise and the fans are going to be fuming. First 4 games, London derbies could be a pro or a con. I agree, but I really think that this, again, if we are up for it, if these players come onto this pitch and they fight for it against Sunderland and we can even get a good result, I really, really hope we can. I feel like these, in fact, not Sunderland, Chelsea at home, I feel like we can make it an intimidating place for people to come to the London Stadium. And London derbies, we know that it gets the crowds going. We know that it gets some of the players going. And that's why we need that fight so that we can turn this into a pro regardless, because we need to win. I like that we don't have a run of 3 or 4 games against top 6 sides. They're pretty spread out over the season. I'd use the word balance to describe the fixtures. Paul, exactly my thoughts as well. I think we've got a lot of very balanced fixtures in there. It's all scattered around. And I'm also a fan of that because I think when you've got one patch where you've got all the top 6 sides, or obviously we never know because there are teams like, Villa or Nottingham Forest that have been performing well at different times. So sometimes they're the more challenging ones. However, I don't like it when there's a massive patch because you go into that patch going, oh, here we go, we're just going to lose. And then you come out of that patch going, oh, there you go, it's over now. We can start going back to playing. And I feel like we need to just keep that momentum going and keep that work ethic going regardless of who we're playing. And scattering the fixtures out makes it a little bit less daunting, a little bit more fun and a little bit more exciting. So for anyone that is just tuning in, we're not going to do too much of a long live this morning because childcare duties call my name. However, we had to come on and talk about the fixtures. We can't not talk about the fixtures. Children can wait. Just to clarify, Dan does have my daughter. I've not just left her to go and talk about fixtures. But there we have it. The first games of the season, pretty balanced, nothing horrific. The last games of the season, Everton, Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle, Leeds. Again, it's all winnable. It's all doable. And we've not really got many patches that are absolutely horrific. I'd say end of November, start of December is looking pretty challenging. Liverpool at home, Man U away, Brighton away, Villa at home, Man City away. Looks a difficult one, but Ricky says Brighton twice in December is scary. I agree, but I also feel like Brighton are there for the taking nowadays. I don't feel like they're quite as scary as they were back in the day. You normally get a couple of Sky Sports 6 back to back. Budging were children once. We were all children once. Once upon a time. So there you have it. Our fixtures have been announced. I'm also going to be doing a more in-depth video for the daily at 12:30 today, where I'm going to be running through expectations for the first 5 games. And there is a lot to discuss that we've not already spoken about, including running through previous starts of the Premier League season and taking a little peek at why the end of the season also matters. So you won't want to miss it. For anyone that's just tuned in, one final reminder of the fixtures. We've called it balanced. We've said that we're not too concerned. We're not a big fan that we've got Brighton twice so close together. End of November, start of December, looking like a little bit of a worrying lead up to Christmas. But what is Christmas without a little bit of football stress? We've got a decent start to the season. We've got a decent end to the season. We have got 4 London derbies at home, our first 4 home games of the season. So there's a lot to take from this, but I ultimately think that it's going to be okay. I'm not going to slate or moan about these fixtures because I feel like all in all, they're actually a decent basis to start from, and it leaves the rest of the work up to us, which is where we need to be as a club, because we need to now take responsibility for ourselves, make the signings we need, hit the ground running, work hard in pre-season, and go and smash these fixtures out of the park. If you haven't already, let us know your thoughts on the fixtures. What is everybody saying? Cat and Blue want the board out. Morning, Holly. I bet Sunderland is picked for live TV, maybe on a Friday night, so there will be consideration for away fans. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? Friday night live TV game. That would be lovely, lovely. Lot of talk about whether we want the board out. Exactly that. Like, I think there's a lot of talk in there at the moment where what we need is from the top things to be more organised. I'm just really hoping at the moment, because that's not realistically going to happen, that we can just do something good this summer, because we are in massive need of strengthening. I hope that the board give us the backing, the funding, and everything that we need to be able to put everything into Potter and see if it works. So how are we all feeling? Let us know. If you haven't already as well, hit the thumbs up button on this video, because it goes a really long way to supporting the channel. And of course, make sure you've subscribed to West Ham Network, because we do loads of videos and we would hate for you to miss out on any of them. Today, like I said, I'm going to be chatting at 12:30, running through expectations for those first 5 games of the season and talking about what that means, and also the end of the season, taking a little look at what we have faced and whether that matters massively in terms of how you perform. So there you go. Those are your fixtures. Take a peek, take a look, take a screenshot, go look everywhere on social media, because it's probably all up there by now. But I am pretty happy with those fixtures. Who else is happy? Who else is sad? Who's disappointed? Sunderland away is a winnable game. As much as they're going to be up for it, where are our emojis? I don't know. I don't know, but it's okay. We don't need emojis for now. We can just natter away. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I can't complain with those fixtures. And like I said, the rest of the work is down to us now to actually make things go and happen. And like I said, 12:30, we're going to be doing a more in-depth analysis of what we can expect and what we should expect in terms of points and performances from the first 5 games of the season. And then, just when you thought you could get rid of me, I'm going to be doing Hammers Headlines at 5 p.m. So come and say hi then as well. But for now, that is all from me for now. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. One final reminder of our fixtures. They look quite nice. Like we said, we've got 4 London derbies, first 4 home games of our season. We've got a difficult end to November, and the lead up to Christmas looks a bit scary. Hopefully we're not there with the Nightmare Before Christmas graphics coming up on West Ham Network leading up to Christmas. And we have scattered our most difficult fixtures, which I think can only be a good thing as well, because it means that hopefully we can go into some of these bigger games full of confidence, rather than going into a run of difficult games against the top 6 and feeling quite frightened about it, because nobody wants to be frightened while playing football. That's no fun. That won't make us do step overs. So there you go. That is all from me for now. Make sure you catch up at 12:30. I'll be doing a daily, and 5 p.m. I'll be doing your Hammers headlines. There is so much going on at the moment. So many transfer rumours. It's almost impossible to pick just 3 stories, but we're going to be choosing 3. So come and tune in at 5 p.m. where we will be choosing 3, and you can see which ones they are. And if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to West Ham Network. Thank you so much to everyone as well that got involved in the chat. Mark feels like if we don't get something against Sunderland, the writing's on the wall. Again, this will start the season, won't it? If negativity creeps straight in because we've got battered by a newly promoted team, it's going to be a very difficult one. But again, it really depends how you look at it. We've got people that are worried. We've got people that are saying it's positive. But like SS Still Here said, we're sure Sunderland will feel the same way. They are going to be raring to go, ready to fight. Luke O'Nien will be ready to do all the shithousery in existence. So we've got to be ready. And we knew this. We really do. And we've got to be able to just absolutely come out fighting. Mark, thank you so much. Everyone, have a great start to your Wednesdays. Like I said, 12:30, I will be doing your daily. 5 p.m. I will be doing a Hammers headlines. There is so much going on in the world of football. One last reminder of those fixtures, and I will actually disappear. But that's all from me for now. Until next time, have a great day. Come on, you Irons. Happy Wednesday. Irons. Irons.